our weekly giveaway. And this week, for our weekly giveaway, we have, Paula, would you please? We have something super special for you ladies out there. We actually have 3 Victoria's Secret bras. Size 32C. There is a nude one, which we know goes really well under all of those white shirts. And we have a really purple pretty one because purple is some of our favorite colors. And the green one here is also strapless. So those are actually very specific to our topic that we're going to be talking about just in a minute. They are not completely random, I promise you. Because what we want to do is highlight a charity for you. And Paula, would you do the honors in talking about this fantastic charity?
So the charity is called Free the Girls. FreeTheGirls.com is their website. And what's amazing about them is they actually receive donations of bras from around the country and around the world. And they give those bras to girls coming out of sex trafficking internationally. And those girls are then able to sell those bras to their community so that they can earn the money to support themselves after they've gotten out of trafficking. And that might seem like a very odd, unusual thing to do, but because of the connections and contacts they have developed in the industry that they're in, they have the opportunity to go out and have their own business, do something that doesn't take a skill, to just take the things they get donated, to sell them, and to build their own house, buy their own land, take care of themselves or their families. And all it takes is donating some bras. So if you have any extra bras floating around,
slightly used, hopefully.
Yeah, we hope they're in good shape. Because
sometimes we don't actually wear the bras that we buy. We come home and we go, oh, that's not really the right size, or it's a little uncomfortable here. You might have those. Those are the ones that you want to go ahead and try and donate to this charity, freethegirls.com.
So that's a way to actually reach out and redeem something that might seem a little unusual, but rather than throw them away or get rid of them or have something happen where they're not benefiting somebody, donating your lightly, gently used bras or brand new ones that you haven't worn to freethegirls.com is a beautiful way to take that part of your life and actually extend to help somebody else. So,
wow, that's incredible.
I wanted to hear about the Mercy Me music video that you were in while we're talking about body image.
Body image, yes. Oh my gosh. For me, I got a phone call from a friend of mine who said he was producing Mercy Me's music video. And I said, okay, I'm free that day. I'll come on down. And it ended up to be flawless. So if you Google that, you'll be able to see me in that as well. And I was able to showcase the fact that I was born with only part of my arm, and I add a little bit to my body and my skin by wearing my prosthetic most every day. And that allowed me to share in some of the, God gave me the opportunity really to share in a short video behind the scenes where they were interviewing and saying, what is important to you about being in this video? And my response was just that, look, I was born differently, not better or worse than anyone else, but I was born unique, and that's okay. God made me this way. And I did have a woman come up to me after the video aired and I was sharing the behind the scenes video, and she said to me her daughter was born with a cleft palate. And gosh, if this was the first time, by hearing my words, this was the first time that she could accept her design with a cleft palate as from God, as this was his purpose for her life, that it wasn't something that she needed to be ashamed of or felt broken about.
That is absolutely incredible.
It was incredible.
And with that, there's a song that we were talking about highlighting called More Beautiful You. Do you mind reading that for us?
Absolutely. Very quick. This is by Johnny Diaz. Little girl 14 flipping through a magazine says she wants to look that way. But her hair isn't straight, her body isn't fake, and she's always felt overweight. Well, little girl 14, I wish that you could see that beauty is within your heart. And you were made with such care. Your skin, your body, and your hair are perfect just the way you are. There could never be a more beautiful you. Don't buy the lies, disguises, and hoops they make you jump through. You are made to fill a purpose that only you could do. So there could never be a more beautiful you. Little girl 21, the things that you've already done. Get anything to get ahead. And you'd say, you've got a man, but he's got another plan, only wants what you will do instead. Well, little girl 21, you never thought that this would come. You starve yourself to play the part. But I can promise you there's a man whose love is true, and he'll treat you like the jewel you are. So turn around. You're not too far to back away. Be who you are. To change your path, go another way. It's not too late. You can be saved. If you feel depressed with past regrets, the shameful nights hope to forget can disappear. They can all be washed away by the one who's strong, can right your wrongs, can rid your fears, dry all your tears, and change the way you look at this big world. He will take your dark, distorted view, and with his light, he will show you the truth. Again, you'll see through the eyes of a little girl. There could never be a more beautiful you. I love that. And I, of course, do add a little bit to my beautiful me. I have my fantastic prosthetic, handy dandy. I take it everywhere with me because it is handy dandy. And so have you ever done anything, Paula, that would enhance your appearance?
Well, this is one of those things that can be really hard to talk about because when we do things like get braces, that's really easy to admit to because so many of us get braces. Did you get braces?
Absolutely. I wore them for 2 years.
Right. So getting braces is one of those things. But in my case, there's some enhancements that I got that in most cases make us more ashamed or embarrassed instead of less so.
Okay.
And in this case, it's my prosthetic devices, which happen to be where I'm not going to show them to you. And the point of this is every time we stop and think about what it means about body image or why we do things, why we lose so much weight, why we have to exercise too much. And it's not about health. It's not about our inner health. It ends up being just about appearances or other people's opinions. And I learned when I was 18 and had the food addiction and gained 72 pounds in 6 months that God dealt with me about learning to accept and thank him for who he'd made me. But what's crazy is over the years of abuse and brokenness, I came to a point in my healing journey where God showed me that every time I looked in the mirror, all I saw was the broken little girl that had been raped when she was 5.
Wow.
And I was having such a battle to actually look in the mirror and see the adult woman that God healed, that God wanted to restore, that needed to accept herself for who she was. And so I actually went and got surgery. I had breast implant surgery, and that in and of itself can make people embarrassed or ashamed. But in my case, it didn't do that. I can be open and honest about it because God spoke to me that I needed to be able to look into the mirror and see an adult woman.
Wow.
It's not about anybody else. It's not about anybody else's opinion of my body or my shape. It's not about how a bathing suit fits. It is about me seeing myself through God's eyes as a healed adult woman and not as the broken little girl. So I just want to tell you, it doesn't matter what choices you've made in your past to get surgical enhancements or to fix this or that or the other. At the end of the day, regardless of what you've done, you know that if it's just about the outward appearance, that you're going to be disappointed. You're still going to be hurting inside. You're still going to be dissatisfied with who you are in Christ until you actually accept who he created you to be. You accept what that body looks like. You accept the skin that he gave you and start loving it because it's about who you are on the inside. But if you have done things, you don't need to be ashamed or embarrassed about that either. You can own the fact that you've needed in your brokenness, needed help, needed straighter teeth, you've gotten something done, and start learning to just be honest and own that. The before the prosthetic device or after, the before my prosthetic devices or after. And in my case, that type of brokenness actually went, so I was in the news because of abuse that happened in my life that was related to the size of my chest. And people can Google me and find out how that brokenness actually is out in public. And so I've learned, instead of focusing on the brokenness and the image and what that does or being ashamed or embarrassed, that I need to own who God made me. I need to own the brokenness in my past. I need to be able to own the healing, the restoration, the surgery, whatever it is that is a part of my life, so I can let you know none of that matters. What matters is healing, that God does on the inside.
Absolutely. And when I started my ministry, the first thing that God told me about it was that he wanted me to put my prosthetic out front. And that's why literally on my business cards, I have an image of me holding my prosthetic out like this. And so many people say, that's why you're holding your arm. Got it. And it's not something that I try and hide behind. It's something that I put out front to say, this is how God made me different. This is what I'm willing to own, to bring it out there. And you have to put yours out front every day.
Well, and it's a part of showing that healing is on the inside, and sometimes you need things on the outside that help you along that healing journey to actually help you grow and heal and continue. And regardless of what that journey is for you, you can accept that your wholeness and your beauty is what's on the inside, and that you need to own whatever that process or journey has been for you.
Oh my gosh, yes. And one of the things that I was honored to do last year was model for a clothing company that actually was making custom fit clothing for those people who have limb differences. So I got to go in and just say, hey, here I am without the prosthetic, and this is me, and this is exciting. And there were women coming and going, modeling, who had different legs, or one woman had even lost one of her legs entirely, and how that looks. And not to be ashamed that this is part of your story, but it's not the end of the world if we don't all look the same. It's just the beginning, because we are all part of God's unique plan.
Absolutely. So I want to celebrate our ex-victim of the week.
Yes, please. Who is that?
That is going to be Fatima, and she's actually on the website for freethegirls.com. And we want to celebrate her. She lives in a third world country. She sells bras that have been donated as a way to buy her own land, have her own hut built out of cement bricks. Actually bought a roof for that. She is now have a home and safety and protection because of the bras that people around the world donated, and she has the opportunity to sell those. So we're out here talking about body image. We're talking about loving the skin that we're in. We're talking about surgical enhancements, about the things we do to extend our beauty, the ways that you can lend a hand, the beautiful straight teeth that we have because we got braces, whatever it is, both in how we were created or in the things that we have done for whatever reason. But learning that true beauty is on the inside and has to do with what God does and what he says and how he created us, and not about all of these things that are on the outside.
That we see with our eyes. We walk by faith and not by sight, right?
Right.
And this is just one more of those ways where we are walking by faith, that he sees my heart. I have faith that he sees my heart above everything else on the outside, whether that's even just my actions or my mask. But please, I encourage you, take the mask off. Be yourself and accept who you are and who you are in Christ as well this week. I want to encourage you to use the fertilizer of your past to bloom today.
A free PDF copy of the Bloom in the Dark book and a full list of Bloom Today's coaching tools can be found on bloomtodaytv.com. Then visit Bloom Today's Facebook group for deeper conversation.